Frankenstein, Agent of S.H.A.D.E. number 2, written by Jeff Lemire, art by Alberto Ponticelli. Last left, Frankenstein had just uncovered a cellar full of children and an old woman who's fending off Frankenstein with a cross. We pick up right there where we left off. And the old woman, as it turns out, may have been using these children as payment to the monsters in some nice... They're human sacrifice. So, Frankenstein, not too happy with that. Not happy hearing that these children were a monthly sacrifice to these monsters that are attacking. And he bitch slaps Granny. And he even makes the comment that Frankenstein's vengeance does not discriminate on the basis of age. Frankenstein makes a call to Father Time and Ray Palmer, and he's like, hey, we got kids, we need an evacuation for them. And they're like, okay, cool. By the way, we discovered that monsters are coming from this lake outside of town called Bone Lake. We're going to send you there to deal with it. So they all hop in a chopper and make their way over there. And apparently there's a portal at the bottom of the lake that leads to what Ray Palmer calls dead space, which is a pocket dimension made of the same strange dark material we find between atoms, which I'm pretty sure is just vacuum, but whatever. So they get to the lake, they set up a perimeter. The vampire dude, the mummy, and the werewolf all are keeping watch, whereas Frankenstein and the fish lady dive in to the bottom of the lake to deal with the portal, or at least see what's up. And then we get this flashback explanation as to who the fish lady was. She was expecting mother, she had a husband, baby was born, but it died very soon afterwards. Her husband left, and she devoted herself solely to her work, and she tried developing essentially her new children which were genetically modified to survive in the harsh world that her original child did not. But she pushed too much language, and she forced too much on them, and they weren't ever able to deal with their emotions properly because they advanced aged. So she just made a bunch of monstrous psychopaths. So she convinced S.H.A.D.E. not to murder all of her new children, so they just got locked up inside of a tiny jail. And then she's like, all right, so for my next batch, I'm just going to start with adults because they already know how to deal with emotions. And I'm going to do the same thing to myself too because, hey, why not? So that's why she became a fish lady, and the rest of the monster group was there. So anyway, they reach the bottom of the lake, and there is just an entire, I don't even know how to, swath, a legion of children's skulls down at the bottom of this ocean. As it turns out, this portal has been open for generations, and the townspeople have been sacrificing to it on a monthly basis for hundreds of years. So Frankenstein, not too happy with this, but he's going to have to cut it short because demons have appeared out of the portal. They start to fight. Fish Lady doesn't really know how to fight, but she's managing to hold her own, and she's impressing Frankenstein while doing it. Finally, they defeat the monsters, and Frankenstein rips out one of their brains so that it can be scanned by the zombie, aka the Seer of Mental Brain Image Energy. I love the stretching for the acronyms. It really helps. So they scanned this monster's brain, and they discovered that this was actually just Earth was just an outpost while they were, hopping between different worlds trying to find one that was good for invasion because their own planet was dying. And as soon as it opened up and demons started coming out, the townspeople just went with human sacrifice. The aliens didn't request it. They just figured it's what they wanted, and they started sacrificing. And the alien demon things never bothered to stop them because they're just assholes. So apparently their planet is actually super dead now, and so they're invading Earth because they need a new planet. And when Lady Frankenstein came to stop them, she got dragged through the portal, and now she's on their planet, their dead planet. So, okay, they've sorted out, and they realize there's only one option. They have to go through the portal, and they have to go there, destroy the planet, and get Lady Frankenstein back. They get in this ship that's made for them called the Egg, and they hop on through the portal. They say it's roughly Earth equivalent in atmosphere. It's 2 times Earth gravity, and the surface is organic. But when they arrive, they see nothing but an ocean of monsters all ready to attack them. And yet close by to them, on a pile of corpses, still fighting them off, is Lady Frankenstein, who just says, "What took you so long?" I like it. I do. I really do. It's a good issue. It's definitely got better than the first issue, because if I remember correctly, the first issue just took so long explaining every single thing of how S.H.A.D.E works. And I just... Oh, God, that was getting old so quick. This one, it does take, like, a little time to... it says, like, oh, what is the zombie? And it brings up, like, okay, this thing. But that's more of just like, okay, here's the editor's note of what zombie stands for. It's not like breaking down the entire history of it. So overall, writing-wise in this one, it's a lot better paced. Something I didn't mention was that the werewolf is apparently like really trying to prove himself, and he doesn't like that he's having to sit on the back lines and not have a chance to prove himself. To which I say, dude, it's issue 2. Like, calm down. The monsters look great. All the art really suits the story. I really like... I like how it hasn't quite figured out what it's doing yet. And I know that sounds weird, but like the first issue was like, okay, we're going to this town that's infected with monsters. And then the second issue ends with, okay, we're going to a monster planet. Like, I like it's keeping you on edge of where it's going. It just really works for the story. So overall, I'm going to give this one a 7. I think it's solid. It's good. I think it's worth it checking out at this point, but I'm going to have to wait until the arc is finished until I really make that conclusion. But as for now, yeah, Frankenstein Agents of S.H.A.D E, 7.